All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the North Shore 9 post-game show powered by Primanti Brothers. I'm Jim. With me today is Neil. Neil, how are we doing this afternoon?
You know, that was actually an entertaining game of baseball, so I'm not too mad. That's all I can ask for. That's how I'm gauging these games, whether or not I want to be put to sleep. And this was actually kind of fun. So,
yeah, no, I mean, it's a good point. There was definitely a lot of stuff happening, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily good stuff, but I guess you could say there was some good stuff. But there was the bad stuff outweighed the good stuff for sure.
Well,
Pirates lose 14-8 this afternoon to the Cincinnati Reds. End up splitting the 4-game series. Mike Burrows, not a great start, not like the worst start in the world, but I mean he wasn't great. He had one really rough inning that kind of set him back. The Pirates offense hit a ton. They had 16 hits and 5 walks today. They got on base 21 times. But it was the bullpen. The Pirates bullpen just was terrible. I mean, kind of across the board. Once Burrows left the game, the Reds scored 10 runs against the Pirates bullpen. And that ended up being the difference here. I mean, you score 8 runs, you expect to win most of those games. But Yohan Ramirez, Dowry Moretta, Cam Sanders combined to give up 10 runs. Lots of extra base hits, a lot of balls put over the fence. And I mean, they're just – the bullpen didn't really have much of an answer for the Reds lineup today.
No, the bullpen was bad. We're really, really feeling the lack of depth there. It's pretty obvious. We desperately need some new arms, some new presence in there because when we're throwing out Cam Sanders, out there. I mean, it was just a bad day, and I'm also going to say I think it was a bad. It's weird for the say this offense scoring 8 runs was bad, but it was a bad offensive day somehow. I mean, when you look at this, 4 for 18 if runners in scoring position. 12 left on base. You only score your last 2 runs because Matt McClain decides to chuck the ball in the left field for some reason. 8 runs is not enough for how much they got on today. And I know beggars can't be choosers with this offense, but I don't know. There are so many chances in this game to break the game open.
Yeah, I'm not going to blame the offense for losing this one. I mean, the pitching gave up 14 runs and they did score 8. But you're right that they had plenty of opportunities today. Henry Davis went 0 for 2 with runners in scoring position. Jared Triolo went 0 for 3. Jack Sawinski went 0 for 2. He did have a sacrifice fly that cut the game to 9-8 in the 8th. So they had their chances to kind of tie the game up or take the lead in certain situations, and maybe that would have led to a different result on the pitching side of things, because maybe instead of going to Cam Sanders, you're going to Dennis Santana, right? So you're maybe using different players in different roles depending on what the score is here. But I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, I mean, it was some missed opportunities, but just a bad day by a few relievers that ended up costing the Pirates the series. So let's get into this one. Starting off, you had Zach Littell, Mike Burrows. Both of them looked really good at the start. Burrows had his changeup dancing around, moving, generating swings and misses. He ended up finishing with 13 whiffs on the night. That changeup, which is clearly his go-to pitch, he threw 12 of them, generated 2 swings and misses on 5 swings, so a 40% whiff rate. Slider, 45% whiff rate. He threw more of those today than he did his changeup. But it was the third inning for Burrows that kind of got him on the ropes. He gives up a double to Austin Hayes, walks Gavin Lux, and then Ellie De La Cruz with an RBI single. And then the ex-Pirate, Miguel Andujar, with his little windmill swing that always used to just piss me off every time I saw it. 3-run homer. And the Reds were up 4-0. And at that point, I wasn't feeling very good just based off of how this offense has been performing. I was like, 4-0, this game's over. But not quite. I mean, the Pirates clawed back into it and ended up tying this one 4-4. But it was just that one inning for Burrows. He did settle down. He gave them 5 innings, ultimately kept the Pirates in the game enough for them to come back and tie the game.
Yeah, I mean, Burrows is just it is like a Burrows strike. He's so limited with that fastball that like the changeup works for. I think it's kind of been a pattern recently. It works for a couple innings. The changeup is getting guys to miss, and then hitters just kind of start waiting for him to throw anything else. And he's just so susceptible to like giving up home runs. And we kind of saw it today. I mean, that was honestly Andujar hitting that. That was just impressive hitting. I don't even know if I'm going to blame Burrows necessarily for that pitch, but like
it was a rough pitch. Like it was a slider, top of the zone, kind of middle. Yeah, I don't know. It was a rough pitch. Yeah.
Okay, maybe I'm misremembering, but like, he's so susceptible to giving up home runs that like it's just going to like really ruin like a lot of the value that he could bring as a starter. And we kind of see that today. Was it all bad? No, but the lack of pitching depth, especially through the starters, is becoming apparent because like this is kind of a guy we have to ride with through the rest of the season.
Yeah, I mean, he did only give up those 3 hits. So like from a hit standpoint, he limited base runners. It's just everyone he led on base scored. I mean, he gave up 3 hits, gave up a walk, and he gave up those 4 runs. So it was just, I mean, the Reds took advantage. And I mean, ultimately, the difference in this game was because both teams were hitting the ball. Yeah. The difference in this game is the Reds hit the ball over the fence a few times. The Pirates weren't able to do that. When you hit the ball over the fence, it's instant offense. The scoreboard immediately changes. And if there's runners on base, multiple runs go up on the board. So the Reds with a 3-run homer by Andujar, a 3-run homer by Noelvi Marte, a 2-run homer by Spencer Steer. That's 8 runs right there just on 3 swings. And it's just a lot easier to win games when you're able to do that. And the Pirates strung together a bunch of hits. They had 16 hits in this game. Again, 5 walks. They had runners on the base paths the entire game. But because they couldn't get any of those balls to go over the fence, it's just tougher. It's tougher to score. I mean, 8 runs should do it, but like you mentioned, they had plenty of opportunities to do more damage than they did. And they couldn't come through. So lots of stuff in this game was annoying.
Yeah. I mean, it's like home runs, like the lack of home runs is just comical at this rate. Like we're one of 2 teams that haven't hit 100 home runs, and we're the only team under 90, and we're not even close to 90. Like I think the lack of power on this team is disgusting. Like everyone knows home runs win you games. That has been like the whole thing for years. Like, so I'm sure the Brewers play small ball well, but like they're the anomaly, and bad things don't happen to the Brewers. Like they just came back from 5 runs down today to win their 9th straight. Nothing bad happens to them, but like we can't be this bad at hitting home runs. I mean, Spencer Horowitz had one with runners on that went right to the warning track. I remember that specifically. We just don't have guys who muscle it over the fence, and that's part of the reason why we're so bad at runners in scoring position.
It's part of the reason why they're so bad in general. There's 3 players on this team with more than 5 home runs.
Yeah. Henry Davis is 4th on the team in home runs.
And he has 5.
Yeah. it's bad.
Oneil, Cruz, Andrew McCutchen, Bryan Reynolds, the only 3 players with more than 5 homers. That's not a recipe for success at all. Michael corrected me, and I appreciate that. Yeah, Jack Swinski, he did have a good game today, but he did not have a sacrifice fly to bring within 1. He actually lined out to a second baseman who then threw a ball into left field, and we'll get to that later in the game, later in the post game. But thank you, Michael, for the correction there. It was not a sac fly. But yeah, I mean, like I said, Pirates go down 4-0, but then they do come back and like I said, they make this one a game. Bottom of the 4th inning. They start off Jack Sawinski with a base hit, Jared Triolo with a base hit. IKF with a 2-run double. Big hit there. Spencer Horwitz, RBI single. He makes it 4-3. And then Jack Sawinski ties it up with an RBI ground out in the 5th. And so you've got a 4-4 ball game. Both teams are now turning the balls over to their bullpen. The Reds don't have a very good bullpen. The Pirates typically have had a pretty good bullpen. They did just trade quite a few of their relievers, so this bullpen looks a lot different now than it did in the past. No, you wonder what this game would look like if you had Bednar, if you had Ferguson, but you don't have those guys anymore. You've got new guys into roles where they've got to get through these middle innings, and you've got your middle inning guys who are pushed into higher leverage roles, and one of those guys who is taking that middle relief role, that long relief role, Yohan Ramirez, a guy who's been DFA'd 10 times in his career. But you hand him the ball in a tie ball game, 4-4. And I mean, let's face it, the stuff is good. There's a reason why he's been DFA'd 10 times and teams keep giving him chances. It's because the stuff is pretty good. But today he got lit up. I mean, there's no other way to put it. He walked 2 batters. He gave up 4 hits in an inning and a third. Didn't give up any homers, but just lots of hits, lots of walks. And I mean, next thing you know, Reds are up 7-4.
Yeah. Johan is like the eternal reliever that you think could turn it around. But you're right. There's a reason he's been DFA'd 10 times. Like, he'll come out and just electric for one inning. But then he always follows it up with this really, really bad performance. I mean, I understand it's the dog days of summer where we sold off a bunch of relievers, but man, it's kind of depressing watching these guys pitch the bridge innings. I prefer, I know you can't pitch Ashcraft every day, but I'd like to see Ashcraft, Majinski, but the back end guys are not major league pitchers in any regard whatsoever.
They're not. I mean, this was Yohan Ramirez's 8th appearance of the season so far. And yeah, I mean, he's just super inconsistent. In 5 of those appearances, he's given up 0 runs. In the other 3, he's given up multiple runs, and 4 runs on one of those occasions, 3 runs on this one. So he's just not very consistent. Not really a guy you can rely on to go in there and just give you 2 scoreless, when you need it. But again, that's why he's on the Pirates right now. I think the Pirates are his 8th team that he's been on since 2020.
This is his 3rd stint with us since 2022.
Yeah, he's been with the Pirates, I feel 4 or 5 times. I mean, but he ends up giving up those 3 runs in the 6th. He comes back out. In the 7th, walks TJ Friedel, then gets a ground out, and then walks another batter. Luckily, Moretta comes in, strikes out Andujar, gets Austin Hayes out, so he's able to keep the game at 7-4. Pirates add in a run in the 7th, makes it 7-5. And this is where the Pirates had that opportunity to really come back, really score some runs. Walk. So the Reds walk in a run, but no one can get a hit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Pirates come to the plate. 4 of them walk, and they come away with just the 1 run.
Season in a nutshell, man. Not even that. I know we talked about power before, but it's even not even power. It's about not being able to get extra base hits. This is just walk and single central here. That's all this team does. And this time it worked because if you put 21 guys on with singles, eventually you'll score. But we got a double from IKF. We got a double from Gonzalez. That's it. Only extra base hits in the entire game from us.
Horowitz had one too.
Oh. There, I misread. You're right. Horowitz had one.
But yeah, that's it. 3 doubles. And I said the difference in this game was the Pirates had singles, the Reds had homers and more doubles. So yeah, I mean, at that point, the Pirates could have added on quite a bit more there. They leave that 7th inning still down by 2. granted, there's still 2 more innings to go. Ryan's lock of the day, which was under 8.5, he's way past that. Hopefully you were tailing Ryan today, because that was over quite early in this one. But going into the 8th, Moretta comes back out, gives up a single to Marte, who had a hell of a series here this weekend. Noel V. Marte. Just kind of crazy how the Reds are able to find these prospects for their pieces that they're trading off, and they end up being useful players, but the Pirates can't find anybody. Spencer Steer then 2-run homer. I mean, at that point it's 9-5, and
yes,
the 8th inning.
I'm sorry,
that was kind of the dagger.
Marte and Steer have been garbage this season, so Marte's been terrible this last month. I think just a genuinely terrible player. So you got to be able to get him out, and it sucks because Moretta's my favorite guy in the bullpen right now. He's just love watching him. And so seeing that hurts me personally, but you got to be able to get these guys out. They're not that good. The Reds frankly aren't that good. They're one of the worst offensive teams in baseball. They're not as bad as us, but
they're not as bad as us. Yeah.
But Moretta should not be giving that up, and we really shouldn't be giving up 13 runs to this team of all people. This is just it happens. These collective collapses happen to every team, but I think it just hurts a little bit more because the Reds.
Yeah, Spencer Steer crushed that ball too. That was one of those where usually when you hit it to left field, it's it's like a wall scraper. A lot of the times, it's tough to hit the ball out over there as a right-handed batter. He crushed that ball. That thing landed beneath the second deck of bleachers.
Yeah,
but Pirates, again, I'll give them credit. They didn't give up. I mean, they're down 4, 2 innings to go. Again, they keep hitting. Spencer Horwitz, leadoff double in the 8th. Tommy Pham with a single. Oneil Cruz with a single. He finally did something today. Nick Gonzalez with a walk. So then you got bases loaded again. Jack Sawinski up. He lines one to the second baseman. Matt McLain makes the play. And then I'm not really sure what he was doing. First off, I don't know what Oneil Cruz was doing. Oneil Cruz was 15 feet off second base at this point. McLain just needs to – McLain could have walked the ball over to second base if he wanted to. He throws the ball, and it's hard to throw it over Ellie De La Cruz since he's 6'6", but he does it anyways. Goes into left field. Pham scores. Cruz scores. So now you got a 1-run ball game in the bottom of the 8th. Runners on second, and you got a runner on. See, Sawinski trying to save a second. Okay, so you got a runner on second, 1 out. Jared Triolo up. You let Jared Triolo hit in this situation. I guess we can kind of talk about that here. Jared Triolo, who is batting 178 on the season in a 1-run game in the 8th inning, you let him hit, and he strikes out.
Yeah, I have no idea why he's hitting there. I don't know who he had off the bench, to be honest.
Peguero. I mean, you had Peguero. You had,
I guess,
you had Canario, and I guess you had. I mean, there's not a whole lot. There's not a whole lot of options there. Bart was already in the game. Kutch was already in the game. You had Peguero and you had Canario.
As resident manager defender, I'm just going to say, look at the options you have. And I don't really blame Don Kelly for sticking with Triolo because, I guess you could argue Peguero might do something. I guess he hit a couple home runs in San Francisco, but, what are you going to do with Canario when he comes out? Is he going to play shortstop? Is he going to play third base or whatever? That kind of stuff where I don't really blame letting Triolo hit there because you're so limited. If you had a Nick York up, you had Devaney up, guys who can actually play the infield and might be a little exciting to hit, then that's a different story.
Yeah. I think I probably still would have gone Peguero in that situation. Triolo has just shown time and time again that he's not he's just not a good hitter.
No.
And you have to try to get something there, and you can't just let your 178 hitter bat in that situation. So I think I probably would have gone Peguero just because, but oh well, didn't happen. Pirates are down still by the 1 run. And then Cam Sanders comes in the 9th and just adds gasoline to the fire. Noelvi Marte, 3-run homer. Matson comes in, walks Friedel to add a run. McLean with a sacrifice fly, and the Reds go up 14-8. And at that point, game's over.
Yeah. I mean, it was like they kept clawing their way back into it, and I'll give them props for that. But once I saw the Marte home run to center field, I'm like, well, that was fun. Then, it's a shame that this should have been like a nice, fun comeback win. You come back from 4 runs down, you come back from another 3 runs down, and then, I don't know what the heck Cam Sanders is doing here. I know he looked good to start, but the jump from double A to the majors is just so big that this was bound to happen.
Yeah, I guess it's just like you need somebody in this bullpen, and especially when you just dealt away everybody that you had. Cam Sanders, you had an open 40 spot, so you're going Cam Sanders, who, in his defense, really good numbers in the minors, but again, there's a reason why he was in Double A at age 28 this year.
Yeah,
too.
So I couldn't even tell you how old he was. So it's kind of exciting because we might see Eddie Yean by the end of the year, but
I don't know how that's exciting.
It's kind of like just we look at something with morbid curiosity. That's how it's exciting to me. See if we can finally get a return for the Bell trade 5 years later.
Eddie Yean walking more batters than he's striking out right now in AAA. That's
okay.
Gonna go really well. That's gonna go well.
This is what happens when you look at someone's numbers 2 months ago and you don't check again. That's kind of.
I'm not very curious to see what Eddie Yean has to do here in the majors. I said 14-8. You split the series. You're now 17 games under 500, which I think takes Don Kelly to like right around 500 as maybe a game
I
or
think
two.
I think he's now 2
games
under
500 now for Donnie Ball. Yeah. Let's dive into a couple things though today. There were a few pieces of the game that I did want to talk about. In particular, Oneil Cruz. Yeah. I am probably the biggest Oneil Cruz defender. I'm one of the bigger Oneil Cruz defenders because this team has so many problems. You look at the 6, 7, 8 batters today: Jack Sawinski, Jared Triolo, Henry Davis, and those 3 guys really shouldn't be in major league lineups getting tons of playing time on any team right now. Like none of them are good. But I think what just frustrates me, and like we saw it with Bryan Reynolds, we've seen it with Bryan Reynolds really all season. He's just now kind of turning it on the last couple weeks. But this team, I expect the bad players to be bad. I'm not upset. Like Jared Triolo batting 178. I'm not blaming Jared Triolo for that. Like, I'm not going to get mad at Jared Triolo because he's getting 500 plate appearances on this team. That's a roster construction problem. That's a problem. That's an organizational issue that they don't have anybody better than Jared Triolo to get playing time. They don't have anybody better than to put Jack Sawinski in the 6 hole, right? Those are organizational issues. I'm going to get mad at Ben Sherrington for those. I'm not going to get mad at Jack Sawinski because he's batting 6th on August 10th and he's hitting 126. You know what? He just shouldn't be there. But guys like Bryan Reynolds, guys like Oneil Cruz, guys who are major leaguers and they need to do better, they just need to do better. Like Oneil Cruz, I was shocked this morning. I was just kind of looking around. Oneil Cruz has been the 5th worst hitter in the National League since June 1st. The 5th worst hitter in the league since June 1st. That was 2.5 months. That's 2.5 months of Oneil Cruz being unplayable, basically. He's got a 0.1 WAR during that time frame. He's a replacement level player. He was fifth worst. First worst was IKF. Second worst was Brian Hayes. He's basically giving you light infield hitting production out of the middle of the order when you need him to be better. And him and Bryan Reynolds underperforming the way that they are this year. Like, yeah, Ben Cherington needs all the criticism in the world for surrounding and filling out this roster with garbage. But those two guys, Oneil Cruz and Bryan Reynolds, they also deserve a lot of blame for how this season's gone. They have each underperformed big time, and they have to be better. If neither of those two, if even just one of them isn't performing, this team has no shot going forward. Bryan Reynolds and Oneil Cruz have to be performing, and they have to be doing it up to their potential. And neither of them are doing it right now, and it's frustrating to see. They both need to be better, but Cruz needs to snap out of whatever he's going through right now, because it's been bad.
I think just the most frustrating thing, because I think he's done a lot of work on his defense, and I think that's paid off. He's still fun on the base path, so I'm going to pretend like that was a big IQ play to panic Matt McLain in the 8th inning. That was actually intentional, just for my own sanity. But I think I'm tired of him looking at those first pitch strikes, because I feel like that happens all the time. I don't have numbers on it, but I feel like every Oneil Cruz at bat, pitchers know he's not going to swing for whatever reason. And I understand it's really helped his walk rate. His walk rate has been pretty consistently good all year. But at the same time, when you let these first pitch fastballs that are hittable, like stuff that Cruz can knock out of the park, and you're down in 0-1, 0-2 because you're looking, it's really killing him, because then he's going to start chasing, because he's a big strikeout guy, and that's something you can live with if he's hitting the cover off the ball. But I feel like while the walks are good, he needs to be more aggressive at the plate, as weird as it sounds, because I think he just gets himself in so many 0-2 holes. And I don't know what discussions they're having in the clubhouse during hitting sessions or whatever, but I really think he needs to start swinging the bat more in early encounters, because he just lets so much good stuff go by.
Just to back up some of that, when he's down 0-2, it's happened 77 times, which is a lot. He's hitting 0.65.
Yeah.
And he's got a weighted runs created plus of -47. 0.65 batting average, 0.65 slugging when he's down 0-2. When he's down 1-2, he's batting 70 with a -19 weighted runs created plus. When it's 2-2, he's batting 102 with a 26 weighted runs created plus. So when he gets 2 strikes on him, it's over. It's basically over when he gets 2 strikes. So I'm with you. You see, I'm just looking on here, when it's 2-1, 127 weighted runs created plus, 2-0, 131. So when he's ahead in the count, he does damage. But yeah, he needs to try to not get, because when he gets down, when it's 0-1, 48 weighted runs created plus, he's batting 170. Yeah, I'm with you. He can't.
I mean, it's got to be an organizational change at this rate. Anyone who's involved in the hitting stuff at any level, I think it has to be shown the door. And whoever's making the decisions to hire the coaches also needs to be shown the door. And obviously that's Ben Cherington, and it all comes down from the top. But clearly whatever they're teaching their hitters, even their talented ones, isn't working. Right now, the only guys thriving on this team are Spencer Horwitz, who's been hot for a month or so, and Nick Gonzalez, who I think Cruz really benefit if he approached more at-bats like Nick Gonzalez did. So I don't know what's being told. And I mean, I don't know how true this is, but I've heard that Nick Gonzalez just ignores all the hitting coaches. He doesn't listen to them. It's just, you gotta fire everyone that has anything to do with hitting in this organization, because Reynolds, you can even argue, has been good, but should be great. I would say you could argue he's underperformed since signing the contract. Cruz,
absolutely.
Not even involved in this year, but last year too. Again, whoever is in charge of this stuff needs to be shown the door, and you need to get some fresh blood in. The Marlins did it. The Marlins used to be one of the worst teams at developing bats. Now, whatever they're doing there with Peter Bendix, they are incredible at it now. So whatever needs to happen, you need to go get those guys because the organization is a disaster on the offensive side right now.
And you bring up a good point as far as like especially with Nick Gonzalez, right? Because he's like the one bat who has progressed and gotten better since getting to the majors. And it's a completely different approach. Nick Gonzalez doesn't let strikes go by him. When Nick Gonzalez sees a strike, especially if it's a fastball, he's swinging at it. And Nick Gonzalez has a one.
Jim, you're muted.
My mic there.
Yeah.
But you saw Nick Gonzalez when he made the majors, 63 weighted runs created plus. Year 2 comes back, different approach. He's not striking out as much. He's attacking pitches. He goes from 63 to 94. He jumps up 31 points in that weighted runs created plus column. This year, back, just continuing to get better at what he does, 94 to 105 now, up 11 points. So, like, the one guy on this team who has hit the majors, struggled initially, but then made adjustments and got better. It's a completely different approach from what Oneil Cruz has. Now, he has a different approach in general. Like, Oneil Cruz should be up there looking to do a bunch of damage, whereas Nick Gonzalez is really just trying to hit the ball as hard as he can wherever the pitch takes him. But I agree with you. Oneil Cruz needs to be less selective, I guess is the way to put it. Be aggressive, especially early on, because what we're seeing, like you said, is pitchers are getting him down 0-1. They're getting him 0-2, and then it's over.
Yeah. And, it makes sense why he's tried to work himself out with this, because at the beginning of the year, the walks were really high and he was doing damage. Like, the first 2 months of the year was incredible. So I understand, you want to go back to that success. That's where you found the best success of your career. But there has to be an adjustment. It doesn't look like there's been a whole lot of adjustment at all in the last 2 months. And whether that's a Cruz thing, whether that's a coaching thing, I don't know who you want to blame that on. Maybe it's a mixture of both, but it's got to change.
Yep.
It's a shame because it looked like the home run derby fixed him for a couple of weeks too.
It did. He came out of that All-Star break looking good. But he's just regressed. He is regressing.
No, I mean, and this is what Mike says, batting 226, 1.4 OPS. Obviously, a lot of the times it's when batters swing first pitch, it's usually a pitch they can't say no to. So that's a lot of it. But man, just attack. He gets so many fastballs belt and waist level on the first pitch. Swing the bat, man. I promise it'll be okay.
Well, and you know what, too? Swing the bat more, especially right now. Pitchers have obviously made the adjustment that they're getting strike one. They're getting ahead 0-1. So, swing the bat until they change it up a little bit. Until pitchers start throwing you a ball, pitch one, just go up there and swing. Like I said, it's a game of back and forth. You got to adjust. And right now, pitchers know that he's not swinging, and they're going up 0-1 every single time. And it's putting him in that hole. So, I don't know. You got anything else to add on this one?
No, I think I'm good. I was just trying to find his zone swing. Yeah, I mean he doesn't even swing at half the pitches, in the zones that he sees.
Yeah.
Sorry. He swings at 58% of the pitches he sees in the zone, which is a 5% drop from last year.
So he's being more selective.
Yeah. I would. It's just so frustrating.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's it.
All right. Well, tomorrow we'll have Bucko Brew in the morning. So make sure you're up for that. Me and Donardo will be live at 7 a.m. I think we're going to have Murphy on too. I need to get with him, but we need to talk about the minors. We need to talk about this Greensboro week that just happened. And then we'll have post-game show tomorrow. The Pirates start a series with the Brewers. They hit the road, go to Milwaukee. MLB Network game tomorrow night. So if you're out of market, national TV game, Andrew Heaney versus Freddie Peralta. So if you want to gamble on that one, use our friends over at Fanduel. Just remember to have fun, stay responsible. But be on the lookout for Ryan's pick tomorrow, because I know whatever it is, I'm betting the opposite of it.
Yeah, but as I don't tail Ryan, I think is the real.
Yeah, it's fade Ryan. Here. Hashtag fade Ryan is the new play. All right. Well, I appreciate everybody in the chat today, everybody watching, listening after the fact. You guys rock. Again, we'll be back tomorrow with 2 shows. So come back, hit the bell, make sure you got notifications on, and we'll talk to you soon. All right, that wraps up this episode of North Shore 9. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whether you're listening on the podcast or catching us on YouTube, if you enjoyed the show, please give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It really helps us grow. And if you're listening on the podcast, a quick review goes a long way in helping others find the show. Plus, be sure to tell a friend about us. There's always room for more here in the NS9 community. And for those looking to support us a little more, consider joining our Patreon, become an MVP member, and get exclusive perks while helping us continue to bring you more of the Pirates content you love. Thanks again for all your support, and let's go Bucks.